everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about horror books that revolve around modern day haunted houses. So this should be a blast. I'm super excited. We're getting closer to Halloween, and I figured I'd give some recommendation videos on some books that I've either enjoyed or I at least read, and even though I didn't personally like them, I would recommend them to other people because I believe they may like them. So let's get going. The first book I'm recommending today is The Haunting of Leigh Harker. And this is by Darcy Coates. So this book is about a woman, and she believes her house is haunted. And there are a lot of plot twists in this book. I can't really give too much of the plot away, or else I'm probably going to spoil it. So I will just read the back because they summarized it without spoiling it on what I would do. So Leigh Harker's quiet suburban home was her sanctuary for more than a decade until things abruptly changed. Curtains opened by themselves, radios turned on and off, and a dark figure looms in the shadows of her bedroom door at night, watching her sleep, waiting for her to finally let down her guard enough to fall asleep. Pushed to her limits but unwilling to abandon her home, Leigh struggles to find answers, but each step forces her towards something more terrifying than she ever imagined. A poisonous shadow seeps from the locked door beneath the stairs, the handle rattles through the night, and fingernails scratch at the wood. Her home harbors dangerous secrets, and now that Leigh is trapped within its walls, she fears she may never escape. So I read this book, it's been about 2 years, that's why I'm not super familiar with the plot anymore, but I know she's in this house, a lot of creepy things happen, and this book had a plot twist that kind of blew my mind. So I do highly recommend it. It was actually my first Darcy Coates book, and this made me go buy more of her stuff. So highly recommend this one. The next book I am recommending is The Grip of It by Jack Jamick, I guess. I want to call him Jack J. Mack, but he doesn't have an A in his last name. But this book, I read it on Kindle a couple months ago. And it's about this couple. They're needing a fresh start. So, you're obviously your typical haunted house story. And they move into this house for dirt cheap. And things start going a little cray-cray. Obviously, things are being moved. Objects are being misplaced. Even on their first night there, some weird things happen. They hear children's voices in the woods. And they each are kind of losing it. This is equal parts haunted house, equal parts psychological, so it will definitely mess with your mind. And there's a scene in here where they actually leave and they go stay at a friend's house, and weird stuff still happens at that friend's house. So I really like that, because my first instinct is always leave the house and everything will be fine. But guess what? It's not for these guys. So this book will make you question everything in it, and I really, really enjoyed it. Next up, we have another book that I read a little while ago, so the plot is not super fresh in my mind, but it's Horrid by Katrina Leno. This book, I got it in an owl crate a long time ago, hence the different cover, because typically the cover, the roses are black, but in this one they're red. But this book follows a girl and her mother as they travel across the country to a whole new house, and creepy things start happening. The house is haunted, and it's slowly taking over the girl's mind. She starts doing some weird things. She's seeing weird things around the house. And the ending to this book was trippy. I was like, yo, hold up. Did that actually just happen? So I didn't agree with the ending, but I did love this book overall. So I highly recommend it. And it's a great YA horror that feels a little more mature. Next up, we have Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. This book, I have a love-hate relationship. I really loved the first half of this book, but then the ending kind of got a little derailed for me. But this is a book about 4 authors, and it's Halloween, and this company invites them to this house that's very haunted, and they're gonna do a live chat, stream it on Instagram, and just kind of get word out about these authors. So they're invited to this house and they're going to get paid to do all this promo and everything. But after they stay the night in the house, weird things start happening to each of these authors. They all start writing a book that's very similar, and they can't stop thinking about the house, and eventually they wind up back at the house and all sorts of chaos ensues. And yeah, so again, I really liked the writing of this book. I thought the first half was very solid and creepy, but it just kind of got a little redundant over times, I think. And I think about, like, I read it about a year ago, and I just realized that I didn't love the book, but I didn't hate it either. So I will still recommend it to someone else, because I feel like somebody else may love this or they may not, and hey, that's fine. Next up is Just Like Home by Sarah Bailey, and this book combined a whole bunch of my favorite things. It combined serial killers, it combined haunted houses, and it's just a great combo. So a woman goes back home after, I can't remember how long it's been, because it's been about a year and a half since I read this book. But she goes back home after a long time. Her mom's not doing well. She's very sick. And she is kind of helping her fix up the house and just take care of her mother. But being back in the town is not the best idea, because her father was a serial killer. And he killed a lot of victims down in the basement of this house. And creepy things start happening at night, and it just gets really twisted really fast, and I did not see the ending coming at all. And this book just blew my mind. So this is the most original take on a haunted house I've seen in a while, and I really enjoyed it. Next up was my all-time favorite from last month, and that was The September House by Carissa Orlando. This book is fantastic. It's about a woman who knows her house is haunted and she's not leaving it. The walls bleed in September. There's ghosts just chilling around her house. She has one ghost that will clean her house for her, but in September she starts stacking things and going a little cuckoo. But her husband goes missing, and her daughter will not leave it alone. She keeps calling and calling and calling. So finally her daughter decides she's coming to stay. But it's September in the September house. So she tries to cover everything up. She hires a priest every now and then to come and bless the house, and typically the ghost will chill out then. But this time things don't go like they're supposed to. The priest gets attacked by one of the ghosts while he's doing the exorcism or the blessing of the house, and he winds up running off. So the house only gets a partial blessing. So the daughter doesn't notice anything outright, but of course our main character does, and she keeps seeing things all over the house, and she keeps trying to clean everything up. But this book just spirals out of control in the best way possible. I loved it. Highly recommend it. 5 stars. It's just such an original take on a haunted house. Typically, your house is haunted, the people are freaked out, they want to leave. But no, this lady is down with it. She just wants everything to she wants this house. She wants to stay in this house. This is her dream house. So highly recommend this book. I cannot stop talking about this book. And last but not least is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This book isn't necessarily about haunted houses. There is the house, and it's haunted by something. But it's not necessarily a ghost that's haunting this house. It's a puppet. And this puppet's name is Pupkin, and it is the creepiest puppet you will ever see in your whole entire life. It's a violent little thing, too. It will bust out a hammer and, hammer an eyeball. It's crazy. But Louise's parents... I think that's her name. Louise's parents died. And so the house is basically either hers or her brother's. I think they left it to her brother, if I remember correctly. So there's a whole lot of feuding between her brother Mark and her. And they finally decide, hey, we're going to sell it. So they're trying to fix up the house, but creepy things are happening in the house, and evil puppets are attacking them, and it's just mass chaos. So if you like Grady Hendrix and his sense of humor / horror, you will love this book. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found some modern day haunted house books to check out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, drop a comment, let me know some other modern day haunted house books that I should check out or you should check out. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at pages_and_ash. Thank you so much for watching.